7:04 your time, and you're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning. If you've just gotten up and haven't looked out the window, it's raining, and we're going to give you a look at the forecast. Rain today, all day long, probably up until after dark tonight. High today of 52, low near freezing, 36 degrees, even cooler overnight tomorrow and Wednesday. Look, I'm going to have to turn on the heater in my pump house.
Yeah, it's time to do that.
I don't want my pump to freeze. Chance of rain or snow tomorrow. Oh my goodness, a high of 43, a low of 33, and mostly cloudy on Wednesday, a high of 46, and getting cold overnight and going to get down to about 28 degrees. Right now, we pretty well reached our high for the day. It is 52 degrees outside.
Gonna be a nasty day.
Yeah, it is.
Not a good hair day for us ladies either.
Take an umbrella.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I remembered mine today. Thanks for joining us today. We're back. We have a very special guest. Eric has been here before. Eric Gardner is owner of Volunteer Rid of Pest, and we've talked about numerous things in the past, but today talk about something that's very timely, Eric. By the way, it's good to have you back.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
And we're going to talk about something that's timely, and that is winter insulation. Especially you homeowners out there, be interested in what Eric has to say about this, but it can be a money saver, can't it?
Oh, it definitely will. Typically, we've done over 150 homes this past year.
Wow.
And our average savings is about 20 to 25%.
Ooh, wow. Doesn't take long to for that to pay for itself.
No, it pays for itself really quickly.
Yeah. What kind of, there's so many different kinds of insulation. When I walk through the big box stores, you know, I don't know what to buy. If you're wanting to insulate your house, what do you do?
We have done a lot of research on this to see what's the best type of insulation. For attics, we found that cellulose, blown-in cellulose is the best. Because we can blow it right on top of what you currently have, bring your R value up to R38, which is the TVA recommended level.
Oh, is that what they recommend?
Yeah, R38, that's the minimum level that you should have in your attic. In crawl spaces, we use fiberglass bats, and they come in different sizes depending on your floor joist. Some are at 16 inches, some are at 24.
Yeah.
We get the appropriate size. If you use something that's too small, it's not going to insulate properly, and it's going to be tough to keep it in the space. So you got to get the proper insulation for the proper space. And another thing we do is air sealing. A lot of time you have electrical wires that go from the crawl space to the heated portion of the house, or pipes. You need to seal around those with expanding foam to keep that cold air from infiltrating into the house.
Oh, so every little bitty nook and cranny should be sealed up and checked.
It needs to be sealed.
Even a small little, like a wire space, even that can create a draft and cause you to lose money.
Yeah, it can create a lot of cold air rushing into your house, because cold air travels into the heated portion. They just kind of exchange places, so you're losing a lot of heat through those holes.
What kind? Go ahead.
I was going to say, we built a house about 4 years ago, and so our insulation is fairly new. But should you replace it or redo it every so often, or check it?
Typically, you don't have to redo it.
Okay.
But if it's not done properly, see, there's not an insulation inspector during the building process.
Right.
You're just relying on the company that does it to do it right. And most of them do, but sometimes they cut a corner to save a little money and maybe blow R30 instead of R38. And they might not put any under the crawl space. So it's something you need to have a look at.
Yeah, and the crawl space I've found is a great way to save money. Insulate that crawl space.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
And the comfort level in the house makes a big difference when the crawl space is insulated as well. How do you go about doing that?
As far as insulating?
The crawl space.
What we do under there, first of all, you have to have a vapor barrier. If you don't have plastic down on the dirt floor of the crawl space, that moisture is going to rise up and it's going to get on the wood, number one, could cause wood rot and different things. It'll also get in the insulation. Once that moisture gets in the insulation, it depletes the R value, makes it almost useless. The insulation becomes heavy and will fall out. I don't know if you've witnessed that, but we go under a lot of houses, in the pest control business, go under a lot of houses that the insulation's hanging down. Well, the reason is it's not properly sealed off to keep the moisture out of it.
I see.
And so you have to do it right from the bottom up. Put the plastic vapor barrier down, then install the insulation. You can either staple it into place or use wire rods to hang it.
I've seen that.
But you want to make sure it fits properly, it's snug and secure, and it's not going to fall out over time.
Yeah. Now, what about, you mentioned the vapor barrier. Is there a certain type of plastic or gauge of plastic
What
that you
the
should
TVA recommends is 6 mil, which is a pretty thick plastic.
That is pretty thick.
Because
Yeah.
some places use 3
Heavy.
or 4 mil, and it just doesn't stand the test of time. You know, after 4 or 5 years, it starts to break down. 6 mil is going to last a long time.
Now, I've seen some new construction recently, especially some of the homes being repaired after the tornado. They're putting thick sheets of, I call it foam core, I don't know, around the walls,
Yeah.
in addition to the vapor barrier. And then I guess they insulate under in the stud area too.
Yeah, there's different ways of insulating a crawl space. Some believe that you don't insulate the floor, you insulate the foundation wall with
Okay.
that rigid foam.
Right.
It's got an R value of 10, the 2-inch thick rigid foam.
Okay.
So there's, you know, it's just a different school of thought. I
Yeah.
feel it's better to insulate the floor
Yeah.
than the walls, because once you get the cold air under there, there's nothing to keep it from coming on in, unless you
Right.
plan on heating the crawl space, which, you know, will cost you
That's
more
expensive.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, I have in years past. I have insulated the floors, and especially in the rooms where I had hardwood floors. Wow, what a huge difference it makes in the comfort level, especially on your feet. If you're running around the house in socks, wow, my feet get cold. But the insulation makes a huge difference.
That's an important factor to consider, not just the money savings, but the comfort level.
Yeah.
A lot of people have a home that's difficult to heat and cool. You know, during the summertime, it's always a really hot room.
Right.
Well, chances are you don't have enough insulation.
Yeah.
I mean, just correcting that's going to correct that problem.
Okay, so you talk about it being too hot in the room. So insulation can impact that as well as not keeping it.
Insulation is something that works year round. 'Cause
Okay.
A lot of times the attic in a typical house gets up to 120, 130 degrees in the summertime. And that heat pushes down into the cooled portion of the house. Well, if you have proper insulation, it can still do it to some extent, but not as much. So your air conditioner doesn't have to work as hard to cool the house.
Yeah.
And if it's like a bonus room over a garage, many times people can't use those during the summertime because it's so hot. Well, if it's
Right.
insulated properly, you can use it year round.
Uh-huh. You know, most people think of wintertime coming on, I got to check my insulation, but it should be checked for the summertime
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Huh.
You just notice it more during the really cold months or the really hot months,
I
but
guess
it's
so.
working all year round.
I guess something I need to look at is insulating between my basement and my house.
If it's an unheated basement, it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll definitely save you some money, make home more comfortable.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll give. Hey, Rob will have a project.
There you go.
Work.
You're watching Tennessee Valley this morning. We're talking to Eric Gardner about insulation. He's the owner of Volunteer Rid of Pest. They do a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. We got to take a quick break. 7:12 is your time. Quick break, back in just a moment. More questions and conversation with Eric. Don't go away.
How would you like to look and feel better? If so, then visit the Ford Center for Anti-Aging, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest. Dr. Ford has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding area since 1984. He is a licensed physician with the Board of Anti-Aging Medicine, offering affordable Botox injections. Botox is a medication that is used to treat dynamic wrinkles such as crow's feet, forehead lines, and frown lines. In addition to Botox therapy, rejuvenate and smooth wrinkled skin. The micro laser peel treats skin conditions associated with aging and active lifestyles. If you're looking for safe and affordable anti-aging treatment, call the Ford Center for Anti-Aging at 423-614-0535, located at 2020 Key Street Northwest.
I'm Byron Winters with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Contact me for all of your business insurance needs. From general liability to workers' comp, commercial auto, and business umbrellas, Landmark Insurance has you covered.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m. or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
Hi, I'm Joe Jingle.
And I'm Kim Christmas.
We're here to tell you that the annual Cleveland Christmas Parade brought to you by Main Street Cleveland is back. It's going to be great with all the lights, floats, and Christmas cheer.
Don't forget, WTNB will be broadcasting live the entire parade from the parade.
I was going to get there before you interrupted me. Why are you always trying to interrupt me? I'm trying to tell everybody the Cleveland Christmas Parade is going to be live the night of the parade, the best production ever of the parade, right here on WTNB. You're always trying to steal the spotlight from me. What are you doing? Kim? Ah!
Thanks for joining us. You're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning. 7:16 is your time. We've about reached our high for the day, 52 degrees. And in case you haven't noticed, it's raining and will rain all day long. Flood watches are out for Bradley County.
Yes, yes. And I just got an update on my phone that Hamilton County has a flood warning. So
yeah.
It's probably not going to get better for a little bit.
Hamilton and Dade counties. And of course, the temperatures are getting colder. Both supposed to be below freezing. That's hard to say. Be below freezing. On Wednesday, and of course that brings on the topic of how do you keep your house warm. We're talking to Eric Gardner about home insulation and when you should do it and how you should do it and what you should do it with. And he has all the answers. And we've talked about the types of insulation, where to insulate, the attic, the crawl space, all those things. And I'm wondering, Eric, your company is, of course, volunteer rid of Pest, and you also do insulation. But do you do just new construction, or do you do existing homes as well?
Well, actually, we do both. We have started to specialize just in existing homes because there's not a lot of construction going on right now.
That's right.
And that's why we got into this business. When the construction downturn occurred, a lot of insulation companies went out of business.
Yeah.
And when we were in people's attics and crawl spaces doing treatments, I noticed they didn't have any insulation. So I would recommend that they get some. So, well, we can't find anybody to do it. So I thought, well, I know how to do it. And we took training courses through TVA and just to learn more about it. And now we've become a TVA Quality Contractors Network member.
That's great.
We're a TVA approved contractor.
How do you know if you're a homeowner? How do you know if you need insulation? Should we call an expert like yourself to check it out?
You can. We'd be glad to come out and do a free evaluation, let you know how much insulation you have and how much you need. It's something you can do yourself if you want to. You can just stick your head up in your attic with a ruler and measure it. You're looking for a minimum of 11 inches. With fiberglass insulation, you need about 14, but you can just measure it yourself, see what you've got. If you can see your ceiling joist, this is a good rule of thumb. If you can see the ceiling joist out through there, you don't have enough. They should be buried. Same thing with the crawl space. You can just take a flashlight, look under there. If you don't have any insulation, you need some.
Yeah. Now you mentioned cellulose and fiberglass. I wouldn't. How would the typical person know how to tell the difference?
Well, the fiberglass is in little pieces. You can tell, and you've seen the fiberglass bats.
Yeah.
It just looks like little chopped up pieces. It can be pink. Some of it's gray. There's different colors. Cellulose is fluffier. It's made of paper. And you can tell it's either white or gray.
It look like cotton, kind of.
Yeah, sort of like cotton.
I have the cellulose in mine. And
so that has a better R value. You don't need as much.
It's got a better R factor per inch than the fiberglass.
Okay. So if you're doing it, I guess cellulose would be the one that you'd want to put
That's
in.
what we install. That's what we recommend.
Is it cost effective to do this in the existing construction?
It is. But typically, our clients are getting their payback within 1.5 to 2 years
Oh, really?
on what they save.
That's a rapid return.
Yeah, it is.
So 20 to 25% return, and let's say you could conceivably drop your utility bill by 20 to 25%. I assume that's how that translates.
That's what we're finding.
So if you've got, let's just pick a figure. If you've got a $100 a month electric bill and you drop it by 25 bucks, it don't take long to pay for the insulation.
No, it'll pay for itself
and
quickly.
that is a savings that continues.
Yes.
On and on and on. Well, you mentioned TVA and that you're a certified TVA contractor. Talk about the TVA and their interest in insulating the homes in the Tennessee Valley.
Well, the TVA has an outstanding program called the In-Home Energy Evaluation, and anybody can take part in that. You just give your local utility a call. Matter of fact, if you want to give me a call, I can come out and check your home, give you a free evaluation, and then pass that information to you. But they will send an inspector out. They'll check your home free of charge, go through your entire home. They'll look at your windows, your insulation, your heat pump, your, whatever energy saving devices they can find. They'll look at it, give you a complete evaluation, and give you a list of things you can do to save money. Now, you don't have to do any of them, or you can just pick and choose the ones you want to do. When you do it, they will rebate you half the money you spend.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, it's capped at $500, but if you spend $500, they'll give you $250 back. You spend $1,000, they'll give you $500 back. As long as you do these, the ones that they recommend that you make.
Wow.
And so a $1,000 insulation job, you'll get $500 of that back immediately.
Plus the 25% saving.
Plus what you save.
Wow.
That's why the payback is so quick.
Yeah.
That is great.
That's a great program. And this is something that's ongoing with TVA?
It's been approved for the rest of this year. Well, I think they approved it in October, so it's approved for another year into 2012. So we don't know how long it'll go on, but at least for another 9 months to a year.
Yeah, so if you're needing some insulation, now's the time to do it. And certainly that's a great value. The TVA Home Energy Evaluation Program. And the neat thing, they'll come out, or you'll come out and do this at no charge.
Yeah.
To the
no charge.
consumer.
And that's another good thing about using a TVA approved contractor. They come out before we do anything, check out the house to make sure it does need it. After we do the work, they come back and check us to make sure we did it right. So they guarantee you're going to get the job done correctly.
So there's a follow-up.
Yeah, follow-up inspection.
And
so if we don't do it right, they'll make us go back and do it again.
And there's another inspector that does the follow-up. It's not one of your crew.
No,
it's someone else
it's
looking
the
over
same. The same TVA inspector that did the initial inspection will come back and do the final inspection.
Oh.
So we have to make him happy.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
you get the savings and you get the assurance that it's done correctly.
That's right.
And you probably have a much more comfortable home in the process. That's very interesting. I believe your insulation part of your business called Energy Miser, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, plus you have rid of Pest. Why should someone call Energy Miser?
Well, the number one reason is we're locally owned.
Yeah.
If anyone has a problem, they don't have to call out of state or out of town. They just call me, and
Yeah.
I'll make sure they're happy. It's important to us to make sure all our clients are happy and satisfied, because if they're unsatisfied, they're going to tell a lot of people. And so we want to make sure everybody's happy.
Yeah.
We will go the extra mile to make sure that happens. We've been in business almost 42 years, so we've got a long track record. My mom and dad started this company in 1970, so we want to make sure we do things right and our customers are happy and they have good things to say about us.
Where are you located?
We're located out in the Hopewell community.
Yeah.
Been there for, like I say, 42 years.
Yeah, 42 years. Amazing. Do you have a website?
We do. It's www.volpest.com.
Volpest. That's an interesting website. Volpest. There's a joke in there
I was
somewhere
gonna
about the
say,
Tennessee Volunteers.
I know. We're not going to talk about the game anymore.
We're not going to talk about Kentucky and the Tennessee Volunteer. We're not going to do it. Just not going to do it. Well, it sounds like a great service, but there are other services that you provide. We've got about 6 minutes left, so let's talk about some other services at your company. You actually have 2 companies in the same building, and one of them is Rid of Pest. I live in the country. I live in the woods, in fact. It's close to the water. Anytime you live close to the water and in the woods, you're going to have a lot of pests. Some of them are 4-legged kind. Some of them are many-legged kind. I got up this morning and there was a spider, big black spider, about that big in my bathroom right in front of the tub. And whoa! And he was still crawling. He was crawling slow, but he was still crawling. This is kind of the time of year when those type of creatures begin to come in from the outdoors.
They do. A lot of people, I've heard people say for years, and you probably have too, I hope we have a cold winter, it'll kill all the bugs. Well, the Ice Age didn't kill all the bugs. So I guarantee you, a cold winter's not going to.
I thought about it that way.
They go into warm homes, crawl spaces, attics, wall voids, and they spend the winter. Because if you notice in February or March, there's a warm day, gets up in the 70s, there's bugs everywhere.
Yeah,
where'd they come from?
Yeah.
Well, that's where they didn't die. They just kind of
came out of my attic and crawl space.
They hibernated like I do.
So pest control service is something that is year-round.
Yeah.
You need to have your home treated on a regular, systematic basis. It will keep the pest out. It'll reduce the overall pest population around your home, and it'll just keep your home pest free.
Ah, yeah. What kind of guarantees involved with what you do with the Rid of Pest?
Well, we have a money-back guarantee.
Okay.
If you hire us to get rid of your bug problem, whether it be ants, roaches, spiders, whatever it may be, if we don't get rid of the problem, we'll come back and treat again for free. If you're still not rid of the problem, we'll refund your money.
That's amazing.
And that's when you sign up for a monthly or quarterly program.
Right. And that's really the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Peace of mind really is what you're buying. You're buying insurance, peace of mind for your property, and your property is a big investment, so you need to keep it pest-free, especially those little critters that like to stay under the cover of darkness. I think we call them termites.
Yeah.
You deal with those too, don't
you? We do. That's one thing. A lot of people feel that if they have a termite problem, they'll just call their insurance company and they'll take care of it. They don't realize the homeowner's insurance does not cover termite damage.
Not at all.
It happens so frequently, that's just something they don't touch.
Yeah.
So if you want to protect your home, you need to call me and I can come out and give you an inspection. If needed, treat the home and then follow up inspections every year to make sure it's termite free, and we'll protect your home into the future.
Yeah, and having been a homeowner, I do know, and having had homes treated in the past, termite treatment is not something you just, as a homeowner, just get some chemical and spray around the foundation. A lot more to it.
Yeah.
How do you go about it?
Well, there's a lot of different termiticides that you can use.
Yeah.
Some of them will last for 2 to 5 years. Some will last for 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
So you got to decide which one do you want. Do you want the long-term protection or the short-term? There's one product out there that's being used from time to time that'll last 90 days. It's a super cheap treatment, but it doesn't last very long.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to use the right termiticide, apply it properly, and then you'll get the results you're looking for, which is 10 to 12 years with no termite problem. And then
and that's what you want.
At that point, you know, it's a lot cheaper to treat it right every 10 to 12 years than to not treat it at all or treat it incorrectly.
And when it comes to treatment, termite treatment, the old adage is true. You get what you pay for.
That is true.
And your home is such a huge investment, you want to take care of it. The termites, spiders, what are the other bugs? The wood boring beetles.
Yeah, the carpenter bees.
Carpenter bees.
Yeah.
You take care of all those things as well.
Virtually any kind of insect or wildlife. We do wildlife trapping and removal. You know, bees, hornets, any kind of treatment. We have a bee suit my guys use, a sting suit.
Really?
So we can get right up close and personal and take care of it. And
now, what about the four-legged critters who become pests? I think Michelle and I both live out in the country, her and Rob, and I live out in the country, and I get some four-legged critters that I just really wish they weren't around.
Yeah, this time of year they tend to want to come into the warm.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that we handle. We use different kinds of traps and baits, and we also do exclusion work. So however they're finding their way into your home, we can seal that off where they can't get in anymore. And that's the permanent solution. Just seal it where they can't get in.
Okay, and you can inspect it and usually tell how they're.
Yeah, we do a thorough inspection and try to find out their access points, and we point them out to the homeowner. They can do the repairs themselves if they want to, or we can do them for them.
I see. Wow. So there's a lot to think about when you're a homeowner, but it's worth it. I enjoy my home.
And I enjoy mine.
Yeah.
I do, but that's why I have a cat, because great pest control in the winter.
Is he a mouse? Is he a mouser?
Yes.
Wow, that's good.
I have a Dachshund as well that is a great mouser.
I may need to give me a cat. I may have to do that. We're talking to Eric Gardner, volunteer Rid of Pest, talked about winter insulation and the TVA in-home energy evaluation program. One more time, if you haven't thought about doing this, it's something you really should consider. And you can go online at volpest.
Yep, volpest.com.
And it'll tell you all about the home energy evaluation program. Doesn't cost a thing to get it evaluated. It can tell you where your problems are, and then you can get up to $500 back. If you do like $1,000 energy evaluation and then follow through on that, you can get up to $500 back. So it's a good value, plus the savings that you get as well. Eric's always good to see you. And
Thank you. Good to see you.
Hope that you insulate a lot of homes this winter and keep people warm, and get rid of a lot of pests. I may have to call you to get rid of those big spiders. That one really startled me. I'm not normally afraid, but you flip on the light and there's a big black spot and he's about that big. It's just, ooh, it's not what you want to wake up to.
No.
But that's what I woke up to this morning. But I think he's gone to spider heaven.
There you go. There you go. All right.
We're out of time. Appreciate you joining us today. Don't forget to take your umbrella with you today. It's going to rain all day long. And be careful out there on those roads, especially the side roads.
Yeah.
There's standing water in some of the areas. There's a flood watch out. Be careful with that. And just be careful, because we want to see you back here tomorrow morning. It is 52 degrees, Monday edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. We're out of time. We'll see you next time right here. Stay with us.